was raised to be determined. I was raised to put my head down and my shoulder up during tough times. I was raised never to be found vulnerable. You know why? Because that simply means I am weak. But hold on, is vulnerability really a weakness? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. This girl, she too like right. Welcome back to our YouTube channel, guys. My name is Ewoluwatobi Ifete.
And my name is Ewoluwatobi Ifete.
And you are still here with us where we bring you everything and anything pertaining to life. Together, you know now, we are the World Best Twins. And guys, we are excited to have you here again. So guys, today we would like, first of all, to say thank you to everyone that joined us on
our live video.
Yeah, I think that was a month ago. Yeah,
yes,
thank you so much for always stopping by, guys. And today again, thank you. If you're on this channel, you are at the right place.
Yes, don't go anywhere.
Like if you are seeing this video right now, this is where you should be.
Yeah, don't go anywhere. Stay there. Stay there.
Don't
Stay there, right there.
So guys, today we bring you something you should know.
I mean, long time no see, guys.
Yeah.
We miss you so much and we are glad we are here today.
Yeah. So guys, we'll be talking about, is vulnerability really a weakness?
I mean, we repeat.
Is vulnerability really a weakness?
What are your initial thoughts when you hear about vulnerability? Many of us might have associated vulnerability to a form of weakness, fear, or uncertainty. I equally understand the fact that majority of us might have been taught never to be found vulnerable, especially in our society. I get the fact that with the vulnerability comes the possibility of fear, shame, rejection, which might be very, very scary. And that is why majority of us are trying our possible best never to be found vulnerable. We are all avoiding never to be seen vulnerable. But why vulnerability has been taught as a sign of weakness, do you know that it is a deeply important part of human experience? So Toby, tell me, what can you say about vulnerability?
Vulnerability. Vulnerability is actually scary. But do you know that it is actually a very authentic and a powerful way to live? Yeah, vulnerability is said to mean an uncertain risk and emotional exposure. I mean, think about the vulnerability it takes to love someone, whether they are your parents, your siblings, your friends, or even your neighbor. Love itself is an uncertain risk. The person you love might not love you.
Exactly.
They might have been in your life for so long. They may not. They may be terrifically loyal to you. They may even stamp you at your back. Think about the vulnerability it takes to share your opinion with the whole world, not knowing how it will be accepted, just like we are doing now. It may be accepted, rejected, appreciated, or laughed at.
Yes, vulnerability is hard. And it could even be more other, because needless are the inaccurate assumption we hold to it. I mean, see, when it comes to being vulnerable, the funny thing about vulnerability is that we so much love it when people are honest and sincere with us with their own story. But you see, when it comes to us sharing our own part of the story, bam, we suddenly freak out, and then our own vulnerability becomes our weakness.
Vulnerability is actually the core of emotion. To feel is to be vulnerable. So when you say that vulnerability is a weakness, you are indirectly saying that my feeling is a weakness. Oh no, that is never a weakness.
Never.
You are not going to tell me that the fact that I am feeling this way means that I am weak.
Never.
Vulnerability simply opens us up to empathy.
Absolutely.
It makes us acceptable and loved by the truest and the realest people.
Oh. Are you saying vulnerability is not a weakness?
Never.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
If so, how about I'm being vulnerable now? Let's just assume that I'm being vulnerable. What do I stand to gain when I'm vulnerable? I mean, what are the advantages of being vulnerable? Are there advantages to being vulnerable? Or what? Like, I mean, I'm just curious. I just really want to know.
Oh yes. There are reasons why you should be found vulnerable. And today, guys, I'll be sharing with you 5 major and cogent reasons why you should be found vulnerable.
Oh, lovely.
And why you should not hide your vulnerability. Number 1, with vulnerability, we become our authentic self instead of trying to please others. You don't have to please others.
You don't have to.
Show the world who you are. Let them know this is how you are feeling. It's not a crime.
No.
With vulnerability, we open ourselves up for empathy. We become loved and accepted by the truest people and the realest people. And we are seen for who we are and accepted for who we are truly. Vulnerability is a sign of courage. And when we become vulnerable, we become resilient and brave. And by so doing, we encourage others to do the same thing. Have you ever been in a church setting when it's time for testimony and every other person is sitting down, and you just see 1 or 2 people rising up to the altar to share the testimony with the brethren, and before you know it, you see a lot of people encouraged to also tell to share with the brethren what the Lord has done for them. We also encourage others to become vulnerable when we do the same. Vulnerability also fosters good relationships. Vulnerability helps us to walk through our emotions easily. It fosters good emotional and mental health. When we become vulnerable, we get connected to the right people and build better relationship with people. We get accepted by the truest people and the realest people. When we become vulnerable, we let down our guards, understanding and sharing our emotions with others, which can also be a reason why others should become vulnerable. When we become vulnerable, we lift up a burden and show the world who we truly are, instead of trying to hide from whom we are and trying to portray ourselves as who we are not. A lot of us are showing the world that we are strong, when on the real sense we are actually very weak on the inside. And do you know that has actually killed so many people? Why not show the world who you are and be accepted for who you truly are? Maybe you could even get help.
Yes, vulnerability is not a weakness. I mean, with what Toby has said, we can clearly see that your vulnerability, my vulnerability, I mean, our vulnerability is never a weakness at all. Never. So what then is vulnerability? I mean, vulnerability is a core of emotions and feelings. I mean, if we prevent ourselves from being vulnerable, we prevent ourselves from enjoying the fullness of emotions. I mean, the attempt never to be seen shameful, rejected, failed. I mean, the attempt never to be seen in some awkward situations also provide us attempt never to enjoy love, joy, peace, self-belongings, and even empathy that comes with vulnerability. Or do you not know that there are some benefits that comes with being vulnerable?
Vulnerability actually opens us up to love, joy, acceptance, and to peace.
Absolutely.
When we become vulnerable, we let down our guards and be accepted for who we truly are.
Yeah. So ultimately, welcoming vulnerability into your lives make you live a well, genuine, and fulfilling life.
Think about saying I love you to someone is being vulnerable.
Absolutely.
Trying new things out is being vulnerable. Sharing a difficult and a struggle that you have had in the past with someone is being vulnerable.
Toby, even asking questions is being vulnerable.
Oh yes, it's being vulnerable. So instead of trying to avoid these things, which can be extremely rewarding and ultimately good, why not embrace ourselves and show the world who we truly are? I tell you, that is help for you.
Yeah, there is help for you.
So with this viewpoint of ours, guys, we hope we have been able
to convince you and not to confuse you that vulnerability is never a weakness.
Don't hide yourself, girl.
Girl.
Hello, boy. Don't hide yourself.
Hello, young man. Tell somebody those pains. Speak it out.
Let them know who you are.
Yes.
You are not going to be condemned. And if you are condemned, you are not wrong.
Exactly.
For being vulnerable. For showing the world that this is who I am. You are trying to get help, and you will definitely get help.
And the good thing is that you aren't the only one in that phase of life.
Yeah.
I mean, we also have a lot of people that are going through it.
Yeah.
Only that everybody's covering it with a cloth. So, guy,
don't die there.
Don't die in your silence.
You're being vulnerable. It's never a weakness.
And it is not a crime to be vulnerable.
It's not. Never a crime to be vulnerable. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this episode
again.
We sincerely hope we have been able to bless one or two persons out there.
In case you have found yourself being vulnerable at a point in time in your life and it has really helped you, meet us in the comment section. We have some discussion.
Let's talk about it.
Tell us how it has really helped you. Thank you so much, guys.
Until we come your way again, don't stop subscribing, don't stop liking, don't stop sharing, don't stop joining us
on this channel.
Until we come your way again,
please stay tuned
and stay alive.